Today we will be showing you how to administer the Kettle Test, a cognitive functional screening test. First, assemble all of the ingredients on a tray in front of your client. Next, provide the following instructions to your client. I'm going to ask you to prepare 2 cups of hot beverages. This is a performance test that is intended to give me an idea of how you're performing daily tasks. I will observe you while you are doing this task. Now we will make the decision and agreement about the details of the task. Your task is to prepare 2 cups of hot beverages, 1 for you and 1 for me. You can choose from regular instant coffee, decaffeinated coffee, or many different kinds of teas. You can add sweetener, sugar or artificial sweetener, and milk. Now tell me, what would you like to drink? Once the client has decided what beverage they will prepare for themselves, you decide what beverage you will have them prepare for you. And that beverage must differ by 2 ingredients, one of which should include milk. So for example, if your client chooses that they will be making lemon tea for themselves, you might choose regular coffee with milk so that it differs by 2 ingredients. Before starting the test, ask the client to repeat the instructions back to you to make sure that they understand them. If they get it wrong, repeat the instructions again and don't start the test until they repeat the instructions correctly. So during the test, make sure that you're standing by within reaching distance of the client so that you can step in any circumstance where safety precautions need you to. You'll be just observing the client's performance without any cueing or intervention, either verbal or physical, unless one of the following 3 situations occur. So the first situation that you would want to intervene is if the performance is unsafe for the client, such as this, where the cord is dangling in the sink with water running. The second situation in which you want to intervene is when the task progression has stopped, such as this, where the water is boiling and the client is not responding. And the third situation that you'd want to intervene is when the client demonstrates repeated failure. For example, trying to put the kettle on its base incorrectly over and over and over again is when you'd want to intervene. Next, we're going to show you the different steps of the task. So the first, opening the water faucet. Step 2 is filling the kettle with about 2 cups of water. Step 3, turning off the faucet. Step 4, assembling the kettle. In our case, we don't have a kettle with a removable lid, so step 4, assembling the kettle, just consists of closing the lid. Step 5, attaching the electric cord to the kettle. Again, we don't have a kettle with a separate cord, so this step consists of putting the kettle on its base. Step 6 is plugging the electric cord in an electric socket. Step 7, turning on the kettle. Step 8 is assembling the ingredients. Step 9, putting the ingredients into the cups. Step 10 is picking up the kettle when the water boils. Step 11, pouring the water into the cups. Step 12, adding milk. And last, step 13 is indication of task completion.
There you go.
Thank you. So scoring of the Kettle Test is based on the amount of cueing that the client requires. Refer to the manual for the Kettle Test for specifics around the scoring. The scoring goes from 0 to 4, with 0 being intact performance, 4 being that the client requires physical demonstration, and we'll now go through an example of each score. Using step 9, putting the ingredients into the cup as an example, the following performance would be scored as 0 with intact performance. The next demonstration would be scored as 1, slow and/or trial and error. The next performance would be scored as 2, as the client is receiving general cues. Is that the coffee that I was asking for?
Oh, no. No, it's not.
The next demonstration would receive a score of 3, as the client is receiving specific cueing. Is that the coffee I was wanting?
I think, yes, I think you wanted decaf.
I was wanting regular coffee.
Oh, okay.
This last performance would be scored as a 4, as the client is receiving physical demonstration or assistance, as she's struggling to get the coffee on the spoon because of a tremor. Let me help you with that. There you go. After the task is completed, it's a good idea to ask further information on memory and the task. The questions are on the test description. Examples of the question are, what were the steps that you had to do? Describe to me what you did from beginning to end, as well as how did you think you did on this task? Very good, not so good, not good at all, and how difficult did you find this task? Also, make sure to note any additional observations or comments on your test performance sheet.